Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello. Welcome to episode 137 of 15 Minutes of Genius. I'm your humble and sometimes genius host, Alex Baer, CEO and co-founder of Genius Juice. Also, we have our new hoodies in. New logo, kind of the gunmetal black gray look hoodie. It's like 150 degrees out, but it's really cool in here, so I can get away with wearing a hoodie here. But outside, no way. We're getting into the hot season here. So this is an awesome podcast. I say that because I'm the host, but also because we bring on great guests that are just influential in many different spaces. Doesn't have to only be CPG, food, beverage, and beauty. It could be many other things like relationships, like sex, intimacy, pleasure. And that's the person that I brought on today, who is also very close to my heart, and you'll see why in just 1 second. First off, big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark and ManhattanBeachStudios.net. He is our guy, the producer, the king of the castle that's making this all happen. He's the guy that made this mug right next to me. So make sure to reach out to him. Mark, there's no camera in your studio, right? So we cannot see you. But he's there because I can't be running this whole thing on my own. It's impossible. All right, so again, make sure to reach out to him, Mark and ManhattanBeachStudios.net for podcast, video, audio. Run your own podcast. He can make it happen for you. It will look almost as good as this, but not as good as this, but close. All right, so our guest is my sister, okay? First time we're having a family member on our podcast here, so it's in the family. Alicia Davon, I think I pronounced her name right, hopefully. Obviously a different last name because she married her husband, Erwan Davon, and their company is the Davon Method. Hopefully I got that right. And she is the co-founder, and I call her the CEO. Get it? CEO. And a little bit about her and the business. Alicia Davon, along with her husband, Erwan, has become the go-to expert for those seeking a higher level of relationship support since 2003. I think that was the year I was born. Based in the, I'm just kidding. Based in the San Francisco Bay Area, Alicia provides a high-end boutique service that gives her clients an effective way to enhance their relationships. She and Erwan offer all their coaching and classes online. Repeating that, it could be online, and they provide support for students all over the world. Sis, how's it going?
What's up? Great to be here, Al.
Great to be here as well. I'm in the studio. You're in your mini studio at home. I got to say that the way that you set things up, the background, the colors, you know what you're doing. Well done.
Thank you. Yes, the pandemic was a crisis, but it brought some good things for us and our technological abilities by necessity.
Definitely. So this is interesting because we've never really spoken at this capacity on a podcast. So if there's any awkward pauses or silences, that's exactly why. So just a precursor for everyone. We have never done this before, so this is going to be cool. All right, so let me put on I got my brother hat already on, but I'm going to put on the podcast host interviewer hat, literally. Let's talk about your story. Let's talk about how you started the Davon Method, what you do, how are you affecting and really changing the world and helping people. But I just want to start with how this business even started. So why don't we go there?
So originally, Erwan started his own organization about 30 years ago, and he called it Beyond Education, and then it transformed into Erwan Davon Teachings. And I won't go too much into him because it's me here, not him, but after a very rough childhood and years in his own personal self-development and living in a Zen Monastery and studying psychology and running a yoga ashram and all sorts of things, he decided to start working with both singles and couples and support them in their love lives. So he was already doing that when I met him. And as you know, Alex, I was studying to become a therapist. So I was in a master's program. I was about to start working towards my license. And about 2/3 of the way through my master's program is when I met Erwan, because I was getting really obsessed with everything related to psychology, relationships, sexuality. And I was holed up in the library at my grad school and could not find enough to read that wasn't like 50 years old about the subject. And then my friend Shayna said, Alicia, you got to meet this guy, Erwan. He teaches these classes about relationships and sexuality. I think you're really going to like him. So I said, take me to him immediately. I need to meet him. So long story short on how we got together, eventually we started dating. And then I convinced him to let me visit one of his courses that he teaches called the Pleasure Course. And it was in that course that I realized I wanted to do that for a living. So I basically joined his organization 20 years ago, kind of took it over. And now it is the Davon Method. We teach together and we support both singles and couples in having amazing relationship lives.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I was asleep. I'm just kidding. That's a brother prank right there. That's a brother
Rude.
prank. You gotta love it. I had to do it. No, I was listening the entire time. So, even though I was not asleep. So that's really cool. So Erwan was on this really big kind of spiritual journey. You met him, and then from there, what inspired you to join him, create this? And then also I parlay that question into how are you helping people? What are people really getting out of your courses? So yeah, let's start there.
Well, it was really cool because when I met Erwan, I had been studying psychology for years, in undergrad and then in my master's program. And I was in therapy myself and going through all this self-discovery. And it was all really great. But one thing about it was that it was all very heavy and very kind of problem oriented. All of us have problems and issues and we need to deal with them. But what I really liked when I visited that weekend pleasure course that back in the early 2000s was being held in Erwan's living room in a house that he lived in with about 10 bedrooms. And there were 25 people living there and they were all studying sexuality and relationships and that kind of thing together. It was a community. So it was this whole other world I'd never been exposed to. But sitting in that living room over that weekend, what I realized was how fun growth and development could be. And it doesn't just have to be about solving problems, but it can be about learning skills and how to enhance your romantic life and how to make things more fun, as well as delving into all of the deep stuff. So I really liked that. And I think that's one of the big things that Erwan and I both bring to people that want to enhance their romantic lives. Singles come to us that want to learn how to get into a great relationship and have it succeed. They want to learn how to date successfully, which of course, as we know, is a challenge these days with online dating and coming out of the pandemic and all sorts of things that people are dealing with. Couples come to us usually because they want to increase the passion in their relationship life, increase the chemistry, increase the fun. So we help people not just by delving into the deep, difficult issues, but also by having it be fun. You actually learn more when you're having fun. So we have classes and we have coaching, and it's all very engaging and experiential and entertaining, as well as educational.
Definitely. Going back to the original name, Beyond Education, right? It's educational, and you also learn a lot. And I think you get so much more out of the relationship as well, right? Where you get just more love, more affection, you can feel each other more. One thing that I got, so I took your course twice, right? I took the Davon Method course twice over a couple of years. And actually right after taking the course is when I proposed to my now wife, Ashley. So
I love that.
The course works. Like the course totally works. Like, I'm just.
I take full credit. Full credit.
Full credit. After I walked out of there, I'm just like, I went down the street to look for a ring right after the course. I'm like, where's the ring store in San Francisco? So go into your program, right? You have different programs. You have different structures. You have online. I think there's some in person. You have elderly. There's all these different programs. Tell us what you offer.
So we offer all of our classes online, as you're saying. We also do some in person. So for people that live near us, you can see us in person. The most popular program is called Mastery of Relationship, and it's the core program of our school. It's a weekly online group experience where you get to learn and practice key skills for having an amazing love life and sex life with a group of dedicated people. And it's super easy and fun. It gets piped right into your living room. It's educational, it's entertaining, it's weekly. You meet all these awesome people. So that's the main way that people work with us. Then people can also add private coaching if you want a more one-on-one experience. And then we have sensual skill training programs and weekend intensives. And that's basically what we offer.
Very cool. Very cool. I'd like you to, before we get to our next segment, right, because we're running out of time, I'd like to go into a story of a client. You don't have to mention what their name is or where they're from, but just want to hear a story about someone that's been deeply affected by your work, besides me.
Definitely. Well, I'll share a story of a particular couple because I think it's pretty relatable to most people out there these days. Now, keep in mind, we work with both singles and couples. And the story I'll tell has to do with a woman that came to us when she was single and then ended up in a relationship and then worked with us together with her now husband. So she came to us, several years ago, and she really wanted to get into a relationship. And she was like this entrepreneur, like you and I are, very busy, very high powered, had all these aspirations for her love life, but was not giving it the time of day. She was kind of expecting it to fall into her lap. And these days we all deal with that, being too busy and being distracted and thinking that love and relationship should just happen naturally and fall into our laps. And so what she learned is that she actually needed to make time and space for the relationship. She needed to deal with some patterns that kept arising in her romantic relationships. We all have patterns, right? Like your relationship ends and it ends the same way that the last two did, and you kind of end up blaming the other person, but really you're the common denominator, right? So she dealt with some of her psychological stuff, learned some skills to flirt and date, and then ended up with this really great guy. And so she brought him into our classes, and together they got to actually start their relationship with the support and learning skills.
It's amazing.
Yeah, like from the beginning. I mean, some couples find us after they've been together for decades, right? Or months. But they were able to build their relationship with the foundation of communication and sensual skills and making time and space for the relationship. And they're married and they have a 5-year-old and they're just thriving. Yeah. So there's way more I could say about it. But I think that the structure and the skills training and the support is what really helped them. Some people think they should just know. We don't know. We didn't learn that much. We learned some from our parents. You and I obviously are lucky. We have amazing parents and they have a great relationship, but not everybody's so lucky,
Exactly. There's, I think the divorce rate alone in the U.S. is like over 50%, right? So like,
Indeed.
There's issues with relationships. A lot of like my friends and people that I grew up with, their parents divorced, when they were young, and it's hard to kind of have a role model for relationships when your parents like divorced, right? When you're like 10 years old. So it's very interesting. The other story, I won't mention their name. It's a he. I can narrow it down to a he, but he was actually my mentor and leader for, and I think you know who it is, for your course. And like he took me out to lunch, and then I was talking with him, and he told me the story that he was literally like, and you can tell this better, but from what he told me, like huge beard, smelled bad, like never really groomed himself. He was like in nature, which is great, but like kind of like a mountain man type of guy. And he just was not in a mental state or physical state to even like have a relationship. And then you took him into the course, or he found it, and then he was able to work on his relationship skills, communication skills. He cleaned up, he shaved, smells better, and now he's married, and I think they have a child as well. So
He's married and they have a child who is good friends with our child, and he is a millionaire.
That
I'm
I did not
kidding.
know. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a recent development, but that's what happens. Of course, again, I take full credit. Just kidding. But he's
Dinner's on
rocking
him.
it.
Dinner's on him in San Francisco next time.
Yeah, no, but he's an amazing example. He was, and a lot of us are like this. He was shy, he was awkward, he didn't have, he was very, very smart, but didn't have, a lot of social and relationship skills, but he learned them. You can learn these things.
Exactly. That's where the teachings come in, and that's where you need to get some of this. You got to get some, meaning make sure to set up, I guess, a consultation with you, reach out to Alicia. So how do people find you? Email, phone number, website? Give us the deets.
Yes. So for anybody who would like to learn more about working with us, you can set up a free love life consultation. The best way to do that is to text our school. The number's 415-308-9580. There's also a link that I can give you if you have show notes for this that people can just click to set up the consultation. So either way, our website is pleasurecourse.com and our Instagram is Davon Method.
Love it. And what we'll do is in the comments when we post this interview, we'll put in the comments below in the notes all the ways to reach Alicia at the Davon Method. Make sure to reach out. She's incredible. Next segment, it's called Rapid Fire Questions. Rapid Fire Questions. All right. I was telling her before we actually were taping, because she teaches love life and relationships. I'm like, being a guy, I'm like, have you ever watched Family Guy? There's this guy on Family Guy. His name is Quagmire, and he's a total pervert, and he tries to get with women. He's like the antithesis of who would be taking your course. He's just like, like no respect in relationships and like just uses people. And he's like, whenever he tries to get a woman, like this is my impression of him. He goes like, hey, all right. So anyway.
Gross.
Hashtag Family Guy. Anyway, hopefully we get sponsored by someone there. We need money. All right, so we're gonna go into some questions here. Yeah. So have you seen this segment before at all?
No, I haven't seen this segment.
Okay. This is actually really good then, because some people like they watch an episode with this segment and they know the questions. You don't know anything. You don't know any of the questions. This actually makes it really real and authentic, which is your course, real and authentic. All right, here we go. Bunch of questions. Give an answer as quickly as possible. Question number 1. And these are good questions. You'll love these questions. For music, which decade is the best? The 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
I agree. So take a look at me now. All right. What do you do? It's Phil Collins. Like 50% of the reason that you said the 80s is because of Phil Collins. I swear.
Well, that's who I thought of was Phil Collins, obviously.
Oh, and I wish it would rain down. What do you do for exercise?
Wow. I take long walks. I go to a YouTube channel, MadFit, and I go on the rowing machine.
That's what I'm doing, the row machine.
Yeah, you're trying to.
This is not some sexual action. This is a row machine that that's how it works, okay? I'm not going there. Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
American Beauty.
Not Adventures in Babysitting?
Nah.
Okay,
I've got
American Beauty.
the babysitting blues.
Baby. Anyone who has not seen Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue, it is incredible. It's fucking incredible. I'm using the F word here because it's a great movie. I think it's on Netflix, so check it out. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Of course. Yeah, every time you visit mom and dad, you're like, where's the chocolate?
That's all I want when I walk in.
Yeah. Favorite country to travel to?
I don't know. Mexico?
Mexico. That's actually what I was going to guess. Tulum, right? You go down there for honeymoon and trips and. All right. And also one of your courses is in Mexico, right? Or was? Is it still? Are you still doing that?
the Paradise Vacation course in Mexico and in Maui, but we don't have plans to do any in the near future, but we'll keep you posted.
You never know. Maybe it's coming up. You got to reach out to her to get the inside scoop. All right. Favorite Star Wars character?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Love it. That's my favorite too. Of course, because we think alike. Wonder why we think alike. Because we're blood. What is your spirit animal?
Feline cat of some kind.
That one we could have guessed. Since our mom is like the cat queen, you know.
She is.
She even like looks like a cat, like her hair and yeah. Enid. Her name is Enid. Just some inside jokes coming out. It's all the kimono's open. We're going for it. Let's get crazy. Do you like to drive an SUV, a coupe, or a truck?
SUV.
Yep. For food, salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Favorite day of the week and why?
I really like Thursday, which happens to be today, because there's an anticipation of the weekend, but so it's like you're starting to relax, but you're still engaged in stuff. And I don't know, there's something about it. I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's Thursdays are great, especially when I get to see my sister, right? Mwah. Next question. That was a loud like lip smack. Or like, I can't even do that. All right.
Now you got to practice.
Got to practice. Plug. Davon Method. You got to practice your kiss. All right. Learn. You know, you have one. What is it? You have one chance to make a first impression. Your first kiss, right on a date. Like, you got to get that down. If you miss it, you're screwed. You're done, right? Toast.
Indeed.
Uber or Lyft?
Oh, I forget. It's been a while. I think I like Lyft.
Yeah. Lyft has like taken over San Francisco from what I see. Like, it's just kind of a...
I haven't taken one in a long time. I forget.
Yeah. Okay. Greatest of all time, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant?
LA. You're like, he's the only one that I know from LA.
I know. Well, he's right. He's memorable.
Memorable, for sure. And then what's better? I don't even know if you've seen these, but Terminator, maybe you've seen them when like walking through the living room when like, you know, we're both living at home and you saw me watching them. Terminator 1 or Terminator 2? What's the better movie?
Oh, I don't know. Which one? You answer for me.
I like Terminator 2. So I'm thinking of a movie that you've seen, like a sequel that you really like. I can't even think of one. Okay, next question. Favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island and you cannot say Genius Juice and you cannot say Evolution Fresh, because I know you like their green juice, and you cannot say any kind of chocolate. What would it be?
What comes to mind is watermelon, so I guess I'll just go with that.
Nice. All right. Watermelon it is. All right, so that is rapid fire questions. All right. Raise the roof. Let's party. Yeah. Woo.
Shout out to Arnie, too.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Arnie, our dad. He's the man.
Arnie and Enid, the best.
A and E. And also, shout out to Erwan, which you did already. Shout out to Aiden, your son. Aiden's awesome. This guy's, I mean, I think maybe in like 14 years we'll have him on here because he'll by 18 or 19 he'll start a business, right? So
he will have a lot. Yes, he'll be president of the Davon Method.
I started Davon Method.
Don't worry, we won't push it on him.
Yeah, he's like, I got to do it. I got to take over the family. His voice is going to be very deep. I'm going to take over the family business.
It's already so husky at age 5.
I know.
Cute.
He can like, I know the way he's growing up. This is my my nephew, her son, Aiden. The way he's growing up, I think by age 9, he'll be able to kick my ass. Like it's coming pretty soon.
Oh, he's already like too strong for me, so it's coming.
Yeah. I mean, given that I'm not strong either, I think maybe by next month he'll be able to totally destroy me. All right. That's another, more inside jokes. All right. So anyway, this has been an awesome episode. Love you too, sis. Thanks for being on episode 137. And we got to see each other soon in the summer. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, I will. We're coming early August.
Sweet. All right. Love you. Take good care.
Love you.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So that is episode 137 of 15 Minutes of Genius. Big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. For all your editing desires, make sure to reach out to him. And I think that's it. So in light of what we talked about with the Davon Method, we can say, stay sexy and genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.